Welcome to the Record Machine Show podcast. And now, here's your host, James Michael Hollenstein.
My guest today is Andy Smith, a multi-award-winning, electrifying singer-songwriter and multi-instrumentalist originally from Bristol, UK, now based in South Australia. In August 2025, Andy took home the Silver International Single of the Year award at the ISSA Awards in Atlanta, Georgia. Blending indie, alternative, and rock and roll pop, Andy not only writes and records his own music, but he also produces tracks for other talented artists. He first picked up the guitar at a young age, inspired by his father, and by 1998 was performing with cover bands across everything from cozy pubs to major festivals and indoor arenas. Later, with his original band Howlin' Haze, Andy released their debut album, All That's Real, in 2016. As a solo artist, Andy released Rock and Roll Gold in 2012, followed by Equidistant Years in 2020, and the catchy single Side by Side in 2021. His 3-track EP, I Want to Take You Far, dropped in December of 2024, featuring the title track along with The Bitter Tasting Pill and Always Be This Way. The latter earned a global airplay and became a top 10 finalist at the 2025 World Songwriting Awards. In May 2025, Andy ventured into the world of music NFTs with 3 unique releases: Tales of Yesterlife, Nuclear Bomb, and The Cunning Linguist, the first in collectible series available online. To celebrate his 50th birthday, Andy released The Journeyman, the Best Of, a 19-track collection showcasing his incredible music journey to date. And coming up on October 16, 2025, Andy and the amazing Emily E. Finke are set to release a brand new collaboration titled Legends. But before we dive into our conversation, let's take a moment to enjoy one of Andy's standout tracks. Here's I Want to Take You Far.
Took you long to say how you made me feel. Couldn't show the way what my thoughts were real, but we took our time, didn't jump too high, slowly coached along until we knew it was right. To those days, we were so alive. Things change in time, but with the same drive. Now our love has grown with one of our own. Still the feeling is strong. This is where we belong.
To
We can never be true. I wanna take you far.
You just heard I Want to Take You Far by Andy Smith, and I've got Andy on the line with us right now for an interview. How you doing, Andy?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been storming here the last 2 days, though. It's supposed to be a big storm today as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Tropical time, isn't it? This time of year over there.
Yeah, it was pretty bad yesterday, and it looks like it's picking up again today too. So
Right.
They have a thing here every year. It's called Shrimp Fest. It's like a 2-day thing, and like all these vendors come, and they have food trucks and music and everything like that. And I was supposed to be at that yesterday, and they canceled it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that a hurricane, or is that just like
just like a lot of like a few feet of rain and like high winds and things like that. So
yeah, right. Definitely not the weather to be outside in.
You're in Australia, right?
Yeah, Adelaide, in the Adelaide Hills.
Nice. Where did you grow up as a child?
Bristol. Yeah, Bristol, in England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Bristol's in the southwest of England. So I was there my whole life, basically. We moved to Australia in 2018, 7 years ago, actually, this month.
Wow. So what made you move to Australia?
Work, day job.
Oh, okay.
I worked in England for a wine production company. So they produced bottled wine from all over the world. Mm-hmm. And we were an Australian-owned company. And the opportunity came up. The main winery where all the wine came from in Australia to England, we're building a production facility at that winery. And the job came up internally to be part of the project team and run the bottling lines over here. And so I applied, and the rest is history, as they say.
Nice. Do you like it in Australia?
Yeah, love it, mate. It's the work-life balance is much better. Obviously, you get in Adelaide, South Australia, you get your 4 seasons, but summer is summer. Not like UK, you get a week of it.
Yeah.
You do get, and it goes on quite well. Like, we're in spring now, middle of spring, and it's just starting to warm up. Mm-hmm. But it'll stay warm. Summer can get really hot and up to 40, 45 degrees, which is too hot. But, that warm weather will go on till April. So into the middle of autumn, at least. So you get a good 6 months of decent weather, and you can get to the beach 4 months of the year, pretty much.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Coming from where you used to live, right?
Absolutely. Like you say, you might get a couple of weeks of summer weather in England, and it'd be warm. So, yeah, it's like, weekends, you usually get down to the beach or friends, where they live, where we used to live. A few hours away, there's a big lake, and a few of them got pools because it's warmer a bit further north. And so, your weekend feels like what a holiday would back home, sort of thing. Right.
Yeah, and it's less rain there, I would assume, right?
We get a bit in winter in South Australia because we are pretty seasonal. But your late spring, summer, early autumn, you're pretty much not going to get much rain. It's a good summer. It's and it does get hot.
Yeah,
which took a bit of getting used to.
Yeah, we're in the North Myrtle Beach section of South Carolina, and our winters aren't that bad. Like, our winters are more like my fall used to be when I lived in New Jersey. So
yeah, right.
I can deal with that, and it rains here, quite often. But when it rains, sometimes it only rains for like 30 minutes and then it stops and the sun comes out, and it's nice the rest of the day. So, and we have beaches everywhere. So It's great. It's so much better than being in New Jersey. When I lived in New Jersey, the winters were so cold, and we would get 3-4 feet of snow, and just have to shovel it, and the plow would come and throw it right back on your driveway and on your sidewalk, and you'd get all pissed off, So we've been here. Yeah, me neither. We've been here since 2018, and we love it. So
yeah, cool.
Let's talk about how it all started for you. What sparked your passion for music, and when did you start singing or learning to play instruments?
Oh, I think as a kid, definitely. My dad played guitar. So there was always a guitar and music in the house growing up. And he was in a band in the 60s. And so that was always there. And I started learning, I reckon at junior school. So I was about seven or eight.
Nice.
And, it kind of sort of once a week in school. So probably learned D and E, and that was that.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad said, "Do you want me to teach you?" I said, "Yeah, go on then." So we kind of started there. So 7, 8, 9, and then I had private lessons for a few years. So that was where the guitar was. But I always remember, when my grandparents lived 40 minutes away from where we did. So every other Sunday we'd go down there and see them for dinner and whatnot. So every time we were in the car, in the old days of a cassette,
right.
I'd stick, you're not listening to your music, you're listening to mine. But then I went back to their music, and my dad had the 60s mega mix cassettes. So, it's all these hits from the 60s, 20 seconds, all mixed in together. Loved it. And then that elongated out of that into, I remember when I started senior school on the old Sony Walkmans?
Yeah.
The cassette players. Showing our ages now, but
definitely.
Yeah, I say that to my son. He's like, "What's that?"
Yeah.
But yeah, that I always remember that. Aha was the real first time music took me to another place. Their first album, Hunting High and Low. I think I wore that tape to shreds. So I had to buy it again. Just where I overplayed it, and love and still do love their stuff, and they're amazing live. Aha, Queen was another one who got played to death, and Def Leppard, which I think I could see. Is there a Def Leppard poster up behind you?
Those posters on the wall are all guests that I've had on the show. They've sent me posters and they autographed them to me, because
that's cool.
They were on the show. So, and then I have their signed CDs as well. Like some of them sent me CDs that they signed, and then I just hung them up on the wall. So I still got to finish it. I want to paint the wall like a different color because the whole room is this color, and then I want to add some shelving and stuff like that. And I gotta hang up my trophy too. So
yeah, absolutely. I think mine is just there over my shoulder.
Yeah, I can see it in the background there. That's pretty cool.
Going back to where you were, it's probably those three bands. So in the car, when we were traveling in the car, I would just be singing my heart out constantly every time we were in the car. And even then, as I got older and started to drive myself, when you have your music on and everyone sings along in the car, but I would really give it some as if I was singing it live. And that's where I think that's where the voice really came in the tune, and then it just went from there, really.
Nice. Now, you mentioned a couple of artists. Who were some of the other artists that maybe have influenced you along the way up till now?
Yeah, well, definitely. Like I said, Aha, Queen, wide range up to Def Leppard as a kid. Listening to all the 60s stuff as a kid. So, can anyone not mention the Beatles?
The best band ever.
Stones, but the Small Faces, the Kinks. So these are British bands. You probably heard of them.
Of course.
All that sort of thing. And then as I was coming into leaving school and into work, so 1993, so when Britpop's 94, when Britpop started to happen in the UK, the 90s was a great time to be 20. In
it was
early 20s, it was just unbelievable. And I can only imagine it being what it was like for, say, my parents in the 60s, when all that was going off.
Right.
So Oasis were a huge influence in the when I first started writing and playing. And I still love them. I'm going to see them in a
they're
couple
great.
of weeks when they get down to Melbourne. But yeah, huge influence there. So a wide range. But I can go, over to the Beach Boys. Their harmony, the Bee Gees, and I love the early Bee Gees stuff. They're real, the 60s stuff before they went disco.
Right.
Just amazing songwriting, it really is. But yeah, there's so much.
I'm sure. Your latest album is titled The Best of Andy Smith, The Journeyman. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so that I thought I brought out, I was like, I wanted to put a little bit of closure on that period. And I felt with I Want to Take You Far and Always Be This Way and The Bitter Tasted Pill, which went on there. But those songs were written last year, were produced last year, even though they were written 10 years ago. I felt like my songwriting had changed and improved to what those songs on that album were. And so I wanted to not close the book fully, but just acknowledge that and tip my hat to that and put that on one album, which I thought were my favorites of all what I've done. And put it together as one album. So that's what I did. And, there's some Howlin' Hayes stuff on there, which was the originals band I was in before I moved to Australia. And that probably didn't get the time or the promotion it deserved, because after we recorded it and released it, then I was coming out here.
Right.
So that kind of put pay to that. So I wanted to acknowledge that period as well. But I just felt where my songwriting is now, it was time to write. This is part 2 or part 3 or part 4, whichever it be. But yeah, so I just wanted to acknowledge that bit because I think what I'm doing, whilst I do like everything on that record, I think what I'm doing now personally is stronger again. And so it's, always look back with a bit of fondness, but onwards and upwards.
Right. You evolve, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You move on to the next thing.
Yeah. And you're learning all the time,
Right.
I produce myself. So, constantly learning. I've just been finishing a new song off today, which will hopefully be on an EP out at Christmas, January time.
Nice.
And, some new tricks on the production side of things, which has just made me go through this song now. That's what it needed.
Right.
So you're learning all the time with the production and the writing, So it's cool. I love it.
Awesome. Let's talk about some songs. This podcast will feature 3 of your songs. I Want to Take You Far, Legends, a duet that you did, in LLT. Can you share the stories behind each of these tracks? Yeah.
So let's go in the order they were written then. LLT. So that is that was on my first album, Rock and Roll Goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that was produced by an old friend back in UK, Jason Welsh. It started out, that song, as being known as the longest live trial, which was written and played in my covers band. And we played that a lot live, and it sounded nothing like what it does there. More psychedelic back then, and less grungy, rocky beat.
Mm-hmm.
And that just got left. And when I did the first album in 2012, we put it on there, and we just wasn't happy with how it sounded on the record. And Jay, my producer, took it and spun it a bit, and it come back like that. And this is great. And then when we put it on the best of, my promoter was like, "Well, what's this?" I was like, "Well, I told the story like I just told you, and this is amazing." And they sent it out to a few guys, and there's another indie-centric radio. I think they're in South Carolina. Todd Livingston. He sent me a message via them. He said, "This is best rock song I've heard in 5 years.
Nice.
This is unbelievable. I'm like, wow, well, the song's 23 years old, but you know, I'll take that. But yeah, so that's kind of where that came, and it's still doing really well now on the radio around the world. It's still making charts here, there, and everywhere. And there's another pal I used to play football with back home in England. He did a charity boxing match. They were all the craze about 10 years ago. You go and do 3 2-minute rounds, amateurs against each other, you know. And he walked out. He asked me, "Can I have your song?" I'm going to walk out to the ring with that.
Nice.
Oh, just the biggest honor I've ever had.
That's cool.
Yeah, so really happy with that, and it's just made a resurgence. It's coming back, and people are digging it. You know, 20 years on, it's amazing.
That's great.
I Want to Take You Far. I wrote that just after my son was born and just after I got married in 2014, 2015, and I had it demoed, just acoustic guitar and me singing it. And I could never work out what I wanted it to do with it. This is what I tried to say, I think, in Atlanta on the podium, and then I just went, yeah. And yeah, I just, every time I tried to do something with it, I couldn't work it out. And this went on for 10 years.
Wow.
And yeah, it's like, I knew it was a good song. I was like, oh, I just, and it wasn't till last year we built a house in the Adelaide Hills where I am now. So this is my little studio in there, and it must have been the inspiration of this new house.
Nice.
So I sat down, and it just came, and so happy with how it turned out. You know, the hook, the lick, the lead into that chorus, those guitars, it was just, and I played it to a few of my friends, and my old lead guitarist in the UK actually played the solo on that for me.
Cool.
Just like, wow, that's the best thing you've done, you know, at that point, sort of thing. And yeah, it come out well and weird. So I submitted that. That's what won the silver for the single of the year.
Nice.
Yeah, and weirdly though, radio weren't picking it up. They were going for the other 2 on the EP, and I thought, oh, have I submitted the wrong song? But I always thought it was a good tune, you know, and thankfully the judges thought the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so really happy with that. So that's the story there, really. That's all about my wife and my son.
Mm-hmm.
And Legends. So Legends. So with Emily E. Finke. Mm-hmm. After all the voting, and we knew you were going to be in the finals for the ISO Awards. So it was May. Emily put a comment up on the website, on the ISO website, asking if anyone's going, do you want to do something? So I answered, and she replied, and her initial thoughts were, oh, we'll have a chat, we'll maybe jam and come up with something. I said, well, no, we're going to do it. Let's do it. Let's write a song. So we wrote this song, and we had a couple of emails, and then that came up to video calls, and, you know, whilst talking about it a little bit, started to get to know each other a little bit, and, you know, thought, okay, this could work. Emily had a whole bunch of lyrics, and I was quite, I had quite a firm idea on what I wanted to talk about, with it being the distance between us both.
Right.
So these lyrics, she had they were on 2 different songs, but they weren't songs. I said, I like that, and I like that. Let's put them together. And the link was the story about us being so far apart, which then elevated into the myth and the legend. So as much as I love to sit here and say Legends is about her and I, it's not. It's about the mythical legend, and the tale of creating something so far apart. And that came from there. So we produced it, and I sort of put all the music to it here. We were in constant conversation with each other over production, so everything was done together. And then we did the vocals separately, but it felt like something was missing. And we said, well, why don't we do it when we meet in Atlanta. And so I took a bit of gear with me. Emily had so much gear with her. And we set up in the hotel room and we recorded the vocals together. And what you hear, unbelievable. And what you hear is the second take. We had a practice run through and into the same mic, and that what you hear on the song is the second take pretty much.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Now, are you guys going to submit that song for this year?
Yes, I think so.
For duo?
Yeah, I think so.
I would. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it just came out, right?
It comes out Thursday.
Oh, okay. Thursday. Yeah, 16. That's the new submissions, I think, are January. So I would throw that one in there.
Yeah, absolutely. We're both really proud of it, and the feedback we've been getting, we've sent it out for reviews as well, and the feedback has been really positive. And Rick played it on the ISO radio last Monday, and bit of feedback from there was really good. So we'd definitely be submitting that one. Absolutely. But yeah, just the story behind it, coming together and doing the vocals together in Atlanta was, a few people have said, well, which studio did you use? I went, well, no, we did it
Studio
ourselves.
Marriott.
Exactly. Yeah. Courtyard studio.
That's a great story.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's amazing. And then to add to the myth and the story of the song, it was mastered in a little bit of extra production advice from Andy DeRosa, who's based in the UK, from Wave Mastering.
Nice.
So kind of, spun 3 continents pretty much in the making of this.
That's a great story, man.
Yeah, it's good. And like I say, just really, really happy with it. It come together so not easily, but there wasn't a lot we had to do to it once we got what we wanted it to be. It's like in production was not overly. The most difficult thing was splitting our vocal to edit each other, because we sung together into the same mic. Okay. Because as you know, Emily's got a super powerful soprano voice.
Yes.
And with I'm very baritone and very low, and trying to manage those vocals in recording on the same track was a bit testing. So that's where Andy Wave Mastering came in and added his expertise and assisted us with that as well. So appreciate that to him.
Awesome. Now that we've heard the stories behind the songs, let's take a moment to enjoy the track Legends.
Legend be told of a ship without sails, crossing an infinite sea, crossing the sea in search of one thing, a ship in search of the water.
Songs be sung of moonless nights, crossing mountains of gold. Wind-swept gold turns orange flames cold and hides my true love from me. And yet I go on, yet I go on. My song will be sung, my tale will be told. Turn to myth, mine will go on, mine will go on, mine will go on and on. Tales be spun of a wingless bird, searching a bottomless sky,
searching the sky for one thing to find, a bird in the
cities of light that fade in the night reflect the heart of my love.
And yet I go on, yet I go on.
My song will be sung, my tale will be told.
When all the legends are turned to myth,
Mine will go on, mine will go on, mine will go on and on. Can I say something different? I don't mean your mind, but what words are left?
not told as of yet, and watching has never been played.
And yet I go on, yet I go on. My song will be sung, my tale will be told.
When all the legends have turned to myth,
Mine will go on, mine will go on, mine will go on, mine will go on and on.
Wow, what an incredible song. How have collaborations shaped your music and helped you grow as an artist?
That was the first collaboration I've ever done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was, I didn't know what to expect, how the process would work. How do you go about writing a song with someone 10,000 miles away? Yeah, I was unsure. I didn't know. And it just felt so right because we spent a bit of time trying to get to know each other a little. And we both said from the off, you know, we got to be honest and truthful. If there's something you don't like, you got to say. You got to have thick skin. Otherwise, you're just going to not put your heart and soul into it.
Mm-hmm.
So we said that and agreed that from the off. To be honest, there wasn't many of those occasions where we had to do that. And it just flowed. And we both listened to each other. Like, she's not only an amazing singer, she can play pretty much every instrument going. She can produce as well, as we all know. We found out this year where she won her award for producing. And she just told me this weekend she's mastering as well now. I'm like, just what?
Yeah, she's
Talented
great.
girl. Yeah. So yeah, it just happened, mate. There was nothing really, I don't know. It just happened. And because it was the first time, I had no expectation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we just kind of sort of went on the roll with it and went with it, really.
Yeah. So now are you open to doing more, being that you got the first one out of the way?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely going to do another one with Emily. When that is, I don't know. She's got other projects on. Like I said, I want to get this EP done by the end of the year. I am talking with other ISO members as well at the moment. None of them in Australia.
Of course, right?
And a couple more possibly lined up in the future. So Yeah, it could be. It could be a collaborative year once I get this EP done. Yeah, it could be exciting, and the people I'm chatting to, again, so different to what I do as well. So it could be interesting. I might have to do a duet album or something.
That would be pretty cool. Have you ever done a split single?
What do you mean by that?
A split single is you sing another artist's song and they sing yours, and then you release them together.
Oh wow! Okay, no.
Yeah, that's pretty popular here in America.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got a guy coming on next week. His name is Rob Moss. He's from Boston.
Yeah.
He's been doing split singles this past year. He's done 3 of them so far with 3 different artists. So he sings their song and they sing his song, and then they release it together.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, you might want to check him out next week because he's going to be on the show. Yeah. He's been on a couple of times, but his name is Rob Moss. He may even be someone you want to collaborate with. He's very talented. He plays a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, okay. I'll check that out when you speak to him, and yeah, that could be interesting to do because I've been listening more and more as well to, especially all the other indie guys. From ISA. I met and got to know. We had a good time with Andrew Moore, Hooch. Loving his album. He sent me he sent me a vinyl version, signed it for me. What an album that is. And lately this week I've been listening to Andrew Chappell's first album.
Yeah.
Wow, what a record that is.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Loving that. And I was initially thinking, because I'm not the biggest country fan. But I think we need to get away from this genre nonsense. It's just, if it's good music, it's good music.
Yeah, don't matter.
No, exactly. But yeah, really impressed with those two at the moment. And there's a lot on my list to carry on getting through, I think.
Yeah. So it's stuff to think about, right? I mean, you got duets. Maybe you could do a split single as well,
Yeah, no, I'm going to think about that. I'm definitely not going to do that with Emily because I don't think I could do any of her songs justice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's other people you could do them with,
Yeah.
So I think that would be a pretty good idea.
I agree. I like that idea. I do like that idea.
Yeah. When you sit down to write, what does your creative process look like?
In the early days, it started off in the early days. It started off where I would write lyrics. So I would have an idea of something, a theme for a song, and I would just write the lyrics in a poetry type sense, so it rhymed at the end of each line or something like that. And then I would take it and put music to it. Then I found myself leaning towards recording and as a demo, just a hook or a melody on the guitar. And then I saved them. There's loads of them on my phone still, and go through and just label them. Oh yeah, must use. And then see if I could put some of the lyrics to that. I'm finding myself now, I'm just getting in a room and I'm just, right, okay, oh yeah, that works, that melody works, that riff works, that hook works, and then I just write the song. Unless I know exactly what I'm going to talk about, that's usually what I do. I'll sit in here and have a tinker, and then I'll just record the acoustic guitar and play that over a bit, and then I'll just put some tracking drums down, build it up to it's ridiculously too much, and then start taking it out again.
Nice.
But that's where it is at the moment. Apart from I've written a song about my journey home, which took me to every corner of the world and took an extra 30 hours than what it should have been when I left Atlanta because my flight got cancelled in San Francisco.
Wow.
I've written a song about that on the way home, which is called, weirdly, No Way Home for me.
Good title.
Yeah. But yeah, that was there. I've got the tune in my head, which I recorded at 4:30 a.m. in San Francisco airport on my phone. And I've got the lyrics, so I just that's the next recording I'm going to be doing. So that one's there. But to answer your question, usually now it's just kind of a burst of inspiration. Maybe a 30-second, 1-minute demo on the phone. And then I'll think about, right, what am I going to write about? And, take it that way. So, but sometimes it's more, but that's the way I'm finding it going at the moment.
Nice. Just a few weeks ago, you were a finalist at the 2025 ISSA Music Awards in Atlanta for International Male Single of the Year, and you took home the silver with I Want to Take You Far. What was that experience like for you?
Musically, the best experience of my life. Winning the award was amazing, and I really didn't think I would, because I've only been in the group since January this year. Mm-hmm. So I really didn't think anything like that would happen. Completely blown away by that. But more so, the main thing I was really blown away by was the people and the whole event. Like, the summit was great, but I knew no one when I went over. Chris Clifford in Australia, I knew. I used to work with her, but on the whole scale of things, I didn't know or anyone. I didn't know what to expect or anything like that. So it was amazing. The people, and I'll quote Andrew Moore when he went up to receive his award, was, everyone here is super nice. And they are. The pre-party, and I remember we were stood next to each other for a fair while on the Friday, and
yeah, that was fun.
Just kept coming up, didn't they? Saying hello, having a photo, and
yeah,
it was just unbelievable. There was no ego, there was no arrogance,
no,
there was no looking down on anyone. There was respect and joy and happiness and just encouragement, and it was just amazing. And that, like I said, winning the award was great. There it is, out there. Yeah. Was amazing. Blown away by that. But the whole thing, it took me so long to come down, the whole thing, and the people, which, I'm still talking to now, and want that to continue, because it was just phenomenal. Thoroughly recommend it to any artist who's a member of ISSA and hasn't been. Go. Won't regret it.
I had the same mindset. I felt like I was a winner before I even got there, just being a finalist. But I wasn't expecting to win. And then when I won, I was like, holy, I was like, wow, because I wasn't expecting to win. I actually had a speech prepared in my pocket in case I won, but I was so overwhelmed, I forgot to take it out of my pocket, and I froze. So I just winged it. You know what I'm saying? And I was so nervous because I couldn't remember I didn't remember it. Like once the day was like, once I got the trophy and I went back, everything was it was like having a blackout, like from being drunk. Like I couldn't remember anything, even though I wasn't drinking, you know what I mean? And I was so nervous that I came off like a dork or whatever, when I did the speech. And I finally got to see it the other day when they aired it, on YouTube. They aired the whole show on YouTube. And I saw it, I'm like, okay, it wasn't so bad, because I was kind of stressing about it. So I was like, well, what did I say? Because my wife was actually recording it, right? But as I got closer to the stage, she must have hit her finger on the screen and she stopped recording it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so she didn't have it. So I was like, oh, damn. So for like a month and a half, I was like, did I sound like an idiot, But she's like, no, you were good. But the whole experience was great. I got to meet guys like you and, Jay Luke, he was so cool and stuff. And Robbie Litt, another great guy. Anna and Gene were awesome. They were sitting next to you at the bar. Remember those two?
Yeah,
they're great. Cool couple, man. Gene's really nice people.
The greatest accent in the world. Yeah. I shut my eyes and I thought that's just Robert De Niro.
Yeah, he's from New York, so he's got that New York, sound. But,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but great people.
Yeah, I talked to them a couple of weeks ago. They were on the show, and they were.
Oh, were they? I missed that one.
Yeah, it's up on YouTube.
I'm gonna find that. Yeah,
but but since I've been back and stuff like that, me and my wife were like, oh, we should go back again this year. So I think I'm going to give it a shot again one more time, just to, because everybody was so much fun. I mean, Wolf Milestone, that guy's hilarious. He's great. And Andrew Dean was awesome. And, I got to meet some new people too, like Linda Marks and Bertie Nichols is great. She's a young, talented woman. I mean, she's going to be a star, that girl. you know?
Yeah, I was talking to her dad a fair bit at the after party as well, and he's a really nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I met her mom actually as well. She's lovely, but yeah, she's very talented girl.
She's got a bright future ahead of her in music, I think.
She has.
You know?
Yeah. But everyone there, it was just wherever you went, you sort of bumped into someone. And, you know, old Matt Malouf, you know, we were having a chat one morning at breakfast, and he's a wild one on that one. But he's a good lad, and always spoke and always said hello, and you know, it was amazing. But going back to what you said, going out to get your award, I did the same thing. I froze as well. Mm-hmm. And as I was walking up, I was like, oh, what? And then I started thinking about what am I going to say? And I started getting emotional up here. And I was like, no, just hold it together. And thankfully, somebody shouted out, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know who it was. But obviously, and that's when I said, well, actually, I'm English. And
I remember that.
And got a bit of a laugh, and that calmed me down.
Yeah, that was good.
Then I just went into and then as I started, I wanted to quickly, briefly tell the story of writing that song 10 years ago, and then only just bringing it to life last year. And I think I repeated myself, and then just jumped into talking about my wife and my son, and then everyone else, and I thought, oh, what?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to thank my mate who played the guitar on the lead guitar solo on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed him, and there's another guy who helped me in production. He wanted to, Ian from the Dust Brothers. I think I sent you those links. Did you listen to those by any chance?
Yeah. Good stuff.
Good stuff, aren't they? He helped me in production, and I wanted to thank them, and I just forgot that. And oh God! So I was thinking the same. What have I just made myself look a right idiot?
No, you were good. You were good.
Yeah, thank you. Andrew Moore's wife, they were sat next to me. Look, Tara, she filmed it with her phone and sent it to me. So, okay, well, it's not too bad.
Yeah. No, you were good. Because I remember I asked Wolf Milestone, I go, did I come off like a dope or an idiot? And he's like, no, you sounded like a winner. Don't worry about it.
Oops. No, yeah, you were fine. I don't think everyone was all right, to be honest. There wasn't anyone really who lost it completely, was there?
No, I don't think so. I think, there was people that, you could tell they were totally caught off guard. They were surprised and, overwhelmed with joy and stuff like that. But I think everybody sounded good when they did their speech. It's just, I don't know how you are, but I'm like my own worst critic. Like I always analyze everything I say and do. Like, did I do okay? So I was just kind of worried about it because I didn't get to see it until, they aired it on YouTube. So I was kind of worried about what I said because I didn't want to leave anybody out either. You know what I mean? Because I had in my mind what I wanted to say. I had it on paper, and I pretty much said what I had on paper, just it was worded better on paper.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Even after that impromptu Aussie bit where I said, well, maybe Aussie, and what I wanted to say was Aussie England, but for some reason it came out Aussie England. And after, why did I say it like that?
Just you're nerved up, you just, you're just nervous, it was, and filled with like joy and stuff too. I mean, everybody was there, celebrating each other. There was like nobody was judging anybody, that's what was great about it. You know what I mean? Like even when I was walking back up the aisle to go back to my seat, people are putting a hand out, shaking my hand or high-fiving me or fist bumping me as I was walking back. So, I mean, I loved it. And I would definitely do it again.
Yeah, I would love to. I need to see what the finances are like and if the wife agrees. But I would love to be able to get there next year. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Bit of hard saving to do, maybe.
Maybe try the red. Maybe try for the red carpet awards next year.
But that's the one in Europe, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's. I want to say Holland, Amsterdam. Like that.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw a few people from myself gone over there, haven't they? And we'll probably submit, but that is just as long as a journey as it is to there as it is to you.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that, so yeah, it's true.
But UK to here is 24 hours again, same to get to you guys, or to Atlanta is 24, 26 hours. So yeah, it's a bit of both. So, but we'll probably chuck it in. I mean, especially if if it keeps going the way it's going with the reviews and the hype around Legends, then we'll definitely submit that everywhere, I think, because it's a pretty strong track. So we'll see what comes of it.
Awesome. Where can the listeners find your music online? And do you have a website or social media you'd like to promote?
Yeah, so everything is on my website. So andysmithmusic.net. Mm-hmm. On there is all my music links. So to Spotify, to Apple, to Amazon, to Deezer, to YouTube, to Bandcamp. Everything's on there. My socials are all Andy Smith Music 4, I think. So Facebook, Instagram, X. Just this week joined TikTok with all the reels we've been doing for the Legends you've probably been seeing. Mm-hmm. So we're putting them on there as well. I haven't quite got my head around TikTok yet, but, it's something else to give it a go, isn't it? But there's something maybe happening with TikTok I'm thinking about doing is possibly gigging via TikTok.
Nice.
Bit different. So, it's all being done by another company. I'm talking to them tomorrow about it. But instead of going out to your venue like you did in the old days, because especially UK and Australia, they're closing music venues down left, right, centre. You do it, here in the studio and live on TikTok, and you get paid for it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's something I'm thinking about. Absolutely. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, everything's on my website. Links to everything on my website.
Awesome. Before we wrap things up, is there anything you'd like to mention that we didn't talk about today?
I think we've got it all, mate. I think I appreciate your time and having me on. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for doing it.
I loved it. It's been really good. Thank you to those who are supporting us, supporting me. Legends is out on Thursday, the 16th, on all good streaming platforms. No doubt you'll see reels and more promotional stuff coming out this week. But thank you to everyone who will stream or download or play that. And thank you to everyone for all the kind words and the support. Yeah, it's really much appreciated.
Well, I want to wish you the best of luck with that single, and I'm looking forward to hearing that EP when it comes out.
Yeah, thanks. It's a bit more back into my indie rock and roll Britpoppy era type sound. Mm-hmm. So more guitar driven than what Legends and especially I Want to Take You Far is. So I'm looking forward to getting that out and getting that finished as well. And then long-term project is possibly something which I've had in my back pocket for 10 years, but I've been wanting to do a rock opera, like a 25 track, I think what Green Day do in their stuff. I have this idea for like a rock opera, kind of take Green Day's way of doing a rock opera, combine it with Andrew Lloyd Webber's Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Nice.
So I've got the story. I've got two of the songs, which were Howlin' Hayes songs. So that's where the whole thing is based around a song on the Howlin' Hayes album called The Cunning Linguist. And that is all about a struggling Wordsworth who can't perform. He's an artist, a poet in Shakespearean times. And I had the inspiration when I was at Shakespeare's Globe in London, and that sort of came to me, and I wrote that song all around this struggling Wordsworth. And then I've elongated that song now into what will be this rock opera thing. But I'm hoping that will maybe be out in 18 months.
Awesome.
Just takes a while to write 25 songs.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it does. between that and balancing family life and work life, it's going to take a while.
Yeah. But I like to have goals, and you got to keep yourself challenged, I suppose.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, as you start releasing those things like the EP and stuff, I'd love to have you back on. We'll talk about that as, too.
Oh, I'd love to, mate. Yeah, no, that'd be brilliant. Absolutely.
And then when you finish the rock opera, we can do a chat with that too. And who knows, maybe you'll do a split single in between those. Yeah,
I've definitely written that down. I'm going to explore that. Absolutely.
I think it's a great idea.
It is. It's very unique. I've never heard of it, but I think that's a great idea.
Because you give you give your interpretation of their song, and they do their interpretation of your song.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's another way of getting each other's songs out there, isn't it? And no, absolutely.
Especially if you do it with, if you do it with somebody that lives in like the United States or another country away from where you are, because now you're like sharing your music across the globe,
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's it's a really unique idea. I'm definitely going to research that 100%.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I want to thank you again for coming on the show, brother. Anytime you want to come back, you just let me know, and we'll make it happen, all right?
Yeah, no, thank you again, James, for having me. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You enjoy the rest of your day, all right?
You too. I'm probably off to bed, ready to go to work tomorrow. So back to the day job. But yeah, enjoy your rest of your weekend.
All right, brother. You take care. Have a good night, all right?
Thanks, mate. You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Cheers, bye.
Massive thanks to Andy for hanging out with us today and giving us a look inside his world of music. We're closing things out with one more killer track. Here's LLT.
How many times do you keep thinking
Record Machine Show is a weekly radio podcast produced by Jimmy Howell Productions. All rights reserved. For information regarding distribution or adding this podcast to your website, please visit our contact page at therecordmachineshow.com to submit your request. Thanks for listening. See you next time on The Record Machine Show.
The Record Machine Show.